Right, I'm going to try and show you Beth now. This is my little Beth. See her poor little tummy. Somebody has stripped the hair off of her tummy, and also, you can't quite see because she's very wriggly, but it's off her arms as well. Now, let me just pop her back in because she's not a very happy little girl at the moment. Come on, you. That's our little Sasha. Now, she could be the culprit who's been bullying her sister. I don't really understand why they suddenly would be doing this after all this time, as they're 20 months old. Come on, Mags. Come on, little Mags. There's our little Dumbo girl, Mags. I have rats escaping everywhere here. Come on, little girls. Come on, let's put the hatch down for a minute. Hey, let's put the hatch down for a minute. Oh my goodness. For 20 months old, they're extremely lively, extremely agile, lots of time out the cage, and are always running away and hiding. Hence, I'm putting the lid back down for a minute. Now, yeah, if Beth comes up, I'll show you her arms, but no, quite often this is called self-barbering because the rat will pull her own hair out, often from the tummy and the front legs or from her arms, due to stress. Now, when I first saw this in Beth, she's always been the dominant one in this group. I was a little bit concerned what has stressed her, and then I started to hear some very nasty squeaking at night time. And I realised that she's not doing it to herself. One of her sisters is actually doing it to her. So that's a little bit of a problem. Now, why would one of the sisters suddenly start to pull Beth's hair out when Beth's always been the dominant one? It could be Bethy's been a bit off colour. She's had porphyrin, but that could be stress from having her hair pulled out, because that's not very nice, is it? It could be stress from that, or it could be she's been a bit under the weather and one of the others have taken that opportunity to try and become top rat in the cage. It could just be that they've been a bit maternal and decided to, oh, there's her little arms, you see, the hair's all sort of come off her little arms. It's horrible, poor bare little arms. It could be that they've over-groomed her. They could be exerting their dominance. Or they could have just turned into mean little bullies, but I don't want to believe that because they're so sweet. So anyway, that's something we're going to keep an eye on. Bethy is a little bit unwell today. She's sneezing a lot. Yet again, that could be stress, or it could be the fact that she is unwell. So we're keeping an eye on her today, and we're possibly going to start some antibiotics in a little while. Now, this is Beth, Maggie and Sasha's, Xeno 2 cage. So this will be the last cage tour I do at the moment, because this is the smallest cage that we actually use for the rats. Now, it is a fairly small cage, but because the rats are fairly small, they've always been small. They came to us as very small rats, and they just didn't catch up with their growth. They are fine in here because they come out a lot for every day. They have lots of exercise, running around and being cuddled on the sofa. But what we do now at this stage in their lives, at 20 months old, although our Walking Dead girls, Beth, Maggie and Sasha, seem like babies, they're actually getting on for nearly 2. So we're looking at making sure, the same as we would do for baby rats, that there are lots of levels and platforms, lots of hammocks in the cage, lots of places so there's no big drops. And we've also got the platforms fairly close together, so they're only shallow slopes up the ladders for the girls, so that they can't actually fall from anywhere, which is really, really good. We don't want any nasty falling from top to bottom. We also look at the actual toys that we use. They've got all the new toys that the other rats have got all around the cage. But for young and old rats, look for toys that are light and easy to pick up. This sort of ball is quite nice because there's no big gaps, but especially if you have baby rats, I wouldn't put anything with very wide gaps in because you might find your baby rats are trying to get in there and get stuck. So look very carefully at the actual type of toys you're putting in for either older rats or younger rats. Now Beth, Maggie and Sasha chewed all their houses up, so what they actually have down here on the bottom level, we put lots and lots of safe bed paper in at the bottom, and their food bowl is under there, and they have lots of toys to play with. So it is a nice size cage for these girls. They're very happy in it. And I think just moving the things around in the cage and adding lots of extra levels and climbing ropes and cargo nets, and the way you attach your hammocks. I mean, that little hammock there, if you can see, it's a bit dark, that's like a little tunnel really, and that's one of Maggie's favourite places to sleep or to hide and just get in there, and it's all soft and fluffy. And I think your older rats do need a little bit extra comfort. Look at the time of year as well. If it's winter and it's cold, put in some thicker hammocks and some extra paper bedding, and just make sure that your rats are really comfortable. And I'm going to keep an eye on the Maggie situation, sorry, not Maggie, the Beth situation with the barbering that's going on there, and I'll let you know what I find out. But the main thing is that the skin isn't broken. I noticed she is actually grooming herself quite vigorously as well. So you do have to look at other things. I'm pretty certain we don't have any mites at all. We've had no reason to have mites, but obviously that is another thing we could look at. But if the hair loss was due to mites, I would be expecting to see it on all of the rats and not just one. Although you can have, as I've talked before about the mites, it can be just one rat that gets very stressed and gets the problem with the mites. So there's lots of things to look at. But really, that is the end of my little cage tours. There's not a lot for me to tell you really, because I've done these cage tours with all the others. They're all very similar. It's just adapting the cage to the age of the rat, making sure it's kept very clean. Do your daily clean, your weekly clean and your monthly clean. The daily clean, we will wipe down all the shelves with a cloth and just warm water and dry them. We'll change the hammocks as frequently as we need to. This group, 3 girls, the hammocks will be changed about every 4 days. Our groups of 6 boys probably need their hammocks changed every day, maybe 2 days if we're lucky. The paper is cleaned out every day, and the toilet corners, food bowls and water bottles are washed out and refilled. Water bottles are only ever washed out with very hot water and then cold water to rinse. The food bowls, we do use a little bit of washing up liquid, of the Method washing up liquid, but we don't use that every day, but once a week they have a really good scrub out, and in between it would just be hot water and then rinse in cold water. And what else do we do? They have their fresh fruit and vegetables every day, one or the other we're put in, and any old dirty food will be removed. So just basically keep your cages clean, keep your rats healthy and have fun with them. So there they go, my cheeky little girl Sasha, poor little Beth, and Maggie, who's doing a funny little hunched up thing in the corner. You have a little, now there we go, Bethy, your little Cheerio. And let's see, bye bye to these girls. Let's see if we can see little Maggie. Ooh, there's Maggie in the corner. Okay then, that's my little 20-month-old girls.